This is the most important utility-focused revelation you will hear this entire year, a development that could reshape the way we think about finance and risk management on a global scale. If you truly understand what's unfolding behind the scenes, you'll realize why the global financial system is preparing for a transformation unlike anything we've seen in modern history. One that will impact institutions, investors, and even everyday people. The $1.2 quadrillion derivatives market, the largest, most complex, and most systemically critical market humanity has ever engineered, is quietly undergoing a technological revolution driven by innovations in digital infrastructure and blockchain technology that promise to redefine the very foundation of global finance. The ISDA, the powerful organization that shapes and governs how global derivatives operate, settle, and move across the financial system, plays a crucial role in maintaining stability and trust in the markets. Its influence extends to nearly every major financial institution worldwide, setting standards that impact trillions of dollars in transactions. Now ISDA is openly demanding a transition to faster, safer, cheaper, and more programmable settlement infrastructure, recognizing the urgent need for modernization. The legacy system is collapsing under its own weight, unable to keep pace with the demands of today's interconnected markets. Settlement delays measured in days continue to frustrate participants and slow down the flow of capital. Collateral is held hostage across dozens of intermediaries, with slow-moving confirmation pipelines adding to the inefficiency and risk. Counterparty risk is spread across every corner of the global economy, pushing the old financial architecture to the brink and highlighting the urgent need for transformative change. And the ISDA has made it clear. The future must be instant, interoperable, tokenized, and secure. This isn't a suggestion, it's a mandate. And when you look across the entire blockchain landscape, only one technology consistently matches the needs of the derivatives market at industrial scale: the XRP ledger, everything the derivatives market needs. Real-time settlement, low-cost, institutional-grade throughput, deterministic finality, regulatory alignment, and cross-asset interoperability exists within XRP's architecture right now. This isn't just a theory, it's not some proposal or a white paper dream. What we're talking about here is a live, functioning, and battle-tested settlement system. Now just imagine what could happen if even a small fraction of the $1.2 quadrillion derivatives market becomes tokenized. Imagine the clearing of swaps, futures, and options happening in seconds, not days. And yeah, think about collateral moving instantly instead of being stuck in outdated clearinghouses. Imagine trillions in risk being settled in real time, across borders, and without any friction. For that kind of future to actually work, the world needs a bridge asset that can handle enormous transactional volume without collapsing under liquidity strain. Bitcoin cannot do it. Ethereum cannot do it. Stablecoins cannot scale to that level without systemic risk. But XRP, with its speed, cost, and liquidity design, was created precisely for this purpose. And here's where the story becomes unbelievable to anyone who hasn't done the math. When you take a finite supply of XRP and apply it to the settlement needs of a quadrillion-dollar market, the price targets people once mocked, $100, $1,000, even $10,000, start to look embarrassingly small. Utility demands value, settlement demands liquidity, tokenization demands scalability. If XRP becomes the backbone of global derivative settlement, even partially, the price must rise to support the throughput of the system that depends on it. This isn't wishful thinking, it's liquidity mechanics. In a tokenized world, value has to move fast, efficiently, and in large volumes. The higher the value of the settlement asset, the more it can settle without strain. A low-priced XRP cannot support trillion-dollar daily liquidity flows, but a high-value XRP becomes the perfect tool for institutional settlement. That is why so many analysts, researchers, and fintech architects now argue that the tokenization of derivatives will push XRP to unimaginable levels, not because of speculation, but because the system will need it to function. And let's talk about the transition happening right now. Banks are rewriting their back-end systems, custodians are preparing for digital asset management, Regulators are drafting frameworks for tokenized securities, tokenized deposits, and tokenized derivatives. Settlement networks like SWIFT are evolving. Entire financial corridors are being redesigned with interoperability in mind. Everywhere you look, the world is preparing for tokenization at a scale the average investor cannot even fathom. And the ISDA, the very organization that defines standards for the derivatives market, is actively shaping a world where blockchain settlement rails become the norm. Ripple has been working with banks, institutions, and regulatory bodies for years. Every pilot, every partnership, every integration points back to the same truth. The XRP ledger was not built for speculation, it was built to carry the weight of the global financial system. And once that system flips the switch, once derivatives become tokenized, once collateral movement becomes automated, once risk is settled in seconds, XRP becomes indispensable. It becomes the heartbeat of a digital financial system where value moves at the speed of information. So the question is this: are you holding XRP because you think it might go up in price someday, or are you holding it because you understand its destiny in the world of global finance? Are you here for a speculative pump, or are you here for the era of tokenization that will redefine how the entire world settles value? Because the financial titans are not preparing for a meme coin future, they are preparing for a tokenized economy, where real assets settle on real ledgers with real liquidity. And when the world's largest market, the derivatives market, embraces tokenization, the settlement asset that supports that infrastructure will experience a demand shock like nothing in financial history. That's why the price targets we once thought were extreme now look tiny. That's why $10,000 XRP becomes honestly conservative. That's why the future utility of XRP far outweighs any speculative dream. If you believe in the utility of XRP, if you understand the transformation the financial world is racing toward, then share this video with someone who still doesn't realize how enormous the tokenization revolution truly is. Subscribe for the real scoops, because what's coming next will shock the world. And those who understand the utility will be the ones who benefit most. Please keep in mind, I am not a licensed financial advisor and nothing in this video should be considered as professional financial advice. The content presented in these videos is created solely for entertainment and educational purposes and is intended to spark your curiosity about finance and investing. I always encourage viewers to conduct their own thorough research, analyze multiple sources, and consult with qualified professionals before making any financial decisions or investments. Your financial journey is unique, so make sure you take the time to understand what works best for you. Thanks so much for tuning in and being part of this community. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to support the channel. Also, make sure you turn on notifications so you'll be the very first to know whenever I release new content or updates. I'm excited to catch up with you in the upcoming video. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and take care.